First, I'd like to recognize the other members of the nominating committee for their hard work in developing a great slate of officers for your consideration. They are Oliver Addison, please stand, Mimi Diaz, Lynn Meffert, Ken Hewitt, John Tecklenburg, and myself. These are the nominating committee officers. After numerous meetings and communications, the nominating committee would like to present the following slate of candidates for your consideration. The nominating committee would like to present for your consideration, and I move the adoption of this slate of officers. For chairman, we nominate Mr. Hricik. The first vice chairman, based upon race other than the chair, we nominate Mrs. Ruby Plateau Fielding. For the second vice chair, opposite sex of the chair, we nominate Mrs. Lynn Meffert. Chair, under the age of 30, we nominate Mr. J.A. Moore. For the State Executive Committee representative, we recommend Mrs. Kaye Koonce, Esquire. We also nominate for her alternate, Ms. Erica V. Harrison. The other State Executive Committee representative, Mr. A. Jenkins. And we recommend as his alternate the former chairman, Dr. George Tempel.
Again, we'd like to thank Suzanne and the committee for their recommendations. Now, having there been a motion, can I have a second? The chair will entertain a second. Okay. Are there further nominations from the floor? Going once? Going twice?
The nominations be closed.
Okay. He said that he'd like to make a motion that the nominations be closed.
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. The motion carries. Again. Your new chair, Michael. All right.
Point of order.
Yes.
After the nominations for election of officers, and only carries the motion to close the nominations.
Oh, thank you so very much, Attorney Whipper. Thank you so very much, Attorney Whipper. Hearing none, is there a motion that the slate be elected by acclamation? All right. So all those in favor of the slate say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Say no. The motion carries by acclamation. Thank you. So you do not want anyone to come back. Again, we want to thank our new chair being elected, Mr. Hricik. Now at this time, I'd like to ask Alex Sanders, President and founder of the Chairman of the Board for the Charleston County School of Law, to come to the stage and introduce
opportunity to introduce to you the best candidate we ever had for any public office, Linda Ketner. My inspiration and my personal hero. Now, I begin this introduction with in the format of an old joke. You got to pay attention now. A drop-dead Democrat, a beautiful woman, and a radical social activist walked into a bar, and the bartender said, "Hi, Linda." That's right, y'all got it. She was our nominee for Congress in 2008 and came very, very close to winning in a district that has been Republican for generations. No candidate ever represented us best. The reason she ran, a deep and abiding love for South Carolina, coupled with the frustration that we are falling miserably in important areas. Those ideals lead her to continue her devotion to the causes she holds near and dear. She served as president of the Coastal Community Foundation at Charleston County Crisis Ministry. She's been the chair of the Mayor's Council on Homelessness and Affordable Housing and the South Carolina Housing Trust Fund. She is the co-founder of South Carolina Citizens for Housing and served on the boards of the Holly's Cancer Center, the Health Services Foundation, and the YWCA of the USA. She is the co-founder and past president of the Alliance for Greater Acceptance of the South Carolina Quality Coalition. She's on the advisory board of the Raleigh Center for Urban Affairs and Policy Studies, the College of Charleston Women and Gender and General Studies program, and she is a trustee of the Free Enterprise Foundation. She established the World Women's Fund, Linda Ketner Fund for Social Justice at the Community Foundation, where she oversees grants to organizations working for solutions to social problems. She is a recipient of so many awards I could not list them for you during the course of the rest of this convention. Suffice it to say, she is my inspiration and personal hero. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Linda Ketner.
Introduces you like that, you might as well just die, because it's going to be downhill from that. He is the best candidate that got away, and we all know. Just imagine what this state would be now if he, rather than Jim DeMint, had been in office. Are you ready to go to work? Yeah. Being a Democrat is we whoop. I'm not sure the Republicans whoop, so let's whoop. We're ready to go to work. We are ready to go to work, and it's good because we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. We got a story to tell, and you are the voices that are going to tell the story. I remember when Bill Romshew, my campaign manager, first came to work for the campaign. He said to me, you know, he says, we've got a problem because we've got an old entrenched incumbent. And though in general Americans hate incumbents, everybody loves their own incumbent. So what we're going to have to do in order to win is we got to give the voters a reason to fire him and hire you. Fire him and hire you. Incumbents have a 90+% rate of winning. We got to give voters a reason to fire them and hire us. Well, guess what? In South Carolina, at least, the Republican Party, the whole darn party, is the incumbent. And what we're going to do this year is we're going to tell the truth, we're going to talk facts, and we're going to give the voters a jillion reasons to fire them and hire us. Yeah.
These incumbents, these Republicans, have controlled the State House for 18 years, the State Senate for 12 years. They have won the majority in 21 consecutive statewide races. They control 5 of the 6 U.S. congressional districts. Both of our senators are Republican, and with all that power, all that ability to make change and do good, they have created nothing but alarmingly bad, capital B, capital A, capital D, bad results. They have. Now what we're going to do in the next however many months it is, we're going to talk about facts, and we're going to talk about the truth, and you're going to explain to voters why to fire them and hire us. Let's talk about some of the facts. We are among the top 10 worst in the United States in over a dozen different categories. Over a dozen. One that I hate above the most, probably, is we have the fewest number of students. We're in the top 10 for the fewest number of students graduating from high school. And even though that's the truth, the Republicans have cut the education budget by 25%. That's the largest cut in the United States, of any state. Alarming. We're top 10 in the nation for food insecurity, which is a fancy new name for the fact that 807,000 of our neighbors go to bed often hungry. We're in the top 10 for joblessness, for premature births, for infant mortality. We're in the top 10 for children in poverty. Almost 1 in 4 of our kids live in poverty. And we're in the top 10 for overall general poverty. We're in the top 10 for violent crime, for domestic violence, for median income, obesity, hypertension. And it goes on and on and on. If the Republican state legislature got a report card, they'd be one of those people that didn't graduate from high school for sure. For sure. In fact, in this morning's paper, and you probably saw it if you got up as early as I did, in this morning's paper, we got an F on the state integrity investigation. Okay, we got an F for corruption risk in South Carolina. Okay? Now, are there good Republicans? Sure there are. Okay? Glenn I think he's okay. I like John Corson okay. And there's some more. There's not a great many. I'm done with the list probably, but there's a... I can think of a couple. They don't live here, but never mind. But there's a disturbing trend here, a disturbing trend that they have not even provided adequate government when they've had all that power. And they've made an F on ethical behavior too, in a big way. Who's proud to tell their children, are your friends from out of state? Our agricultural commissioner was indicted for cockfighting. That's embarrassing in so many ways. Our former state treasurer indicted for cocaine. Our former governor leaves the state untended to have an international liaison, which is a nice word for it. Who's proud to tell their children that somebody from the State House is indicted for tax evasion, and another one for harassment? And then, of course, as George mentioned, there's Lieutenant Governor Ard, indicted on a string of ethics charges when we could have had Ashley Cooper. Who's proud of that? Nobody. And yes, all of the above are Republicans. Is it an ad campaign? Is it prejudice? Is it tradition? What is it that keeps South Carolina voters going to that same dry Republican well when they have failed us for almost 2 decades? What is it? Well, I don't know what it is. There's a lot of things involved, but here's what we do. We got to stick to the facts. There's a lot of myths we've got to clear up about what Democrats are, and all the stereotypes about what a Democrat is and a Republican they're all pretty ridiculous, okay? We don't even have to take voters there. What we're asking the voters to do is focus on performance. Focus on performance. And when they look at performance, there is nothing to defend the Republican rule for all these years. So here's the thing. Unless you've got a darn good reason for not running, run. You have 6 days left to file. You have 6 days left to file. Stop waiting for somebody else to run and step up to the plate now when we need you. Because the truth is, for each of us, government is both our responsibility and our privilege. Now, if you do have a darn good reason for not running this time, your job is to spread the truth, spread the facts about the abysmal results of the Republicans. And you need to find those Democratic candidates who speak to you, who stir you, and work for them as if your very future depended on it, because in fact, it does. It does. We have candidates in the Democratic Party who are running for bigger reasons for themselves than for themselves. Reasons that have to do with how much they love the community or the state or this nation. We have candidates fed up with the corruption, the lying, the self-serving norm that is too often a part of politics today. We have candidates who can listen to people, not just talk to people and talk at people, but listen to people. We have candidates who want to serve, who want to give, not just take. We have candidates who respect all citizens of South Carolina, not just the white ones, not just the rich ones, not just the powerful ones, not just the straight ones, not just the Binyas, all of our citizens. That's one of the things of which we should be most proud, We have candidates who have done something in their community or in the state or in this region that shows they can unite people, work together, an odd concept in Republican language, work together to get important things done. We have candidates who are able to see the big picture. They're big picture thinkers and long-term thinkers. We particularly need that because part of our problems in the state and in the nation is that we've got some real short-term thinkers who have real short, small pictures of how things work. Candidates who don't even understand the relationship between education and energy and the economy and health. We have candidates willing to work and work some more, not just to get elected, but when they're in office, to doggedly face our problems and come up with thoughtful solutions to those problems. We have candidates with rigorous integrity. We do. Rigorous integrity. And we need that in politics today for obvious reasons. We've seen way too many examples of power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, haven't we? We have candidates that have done their homework, who have deeply studied the issues and have ideas about what to do next. And I'm weary, you're weary, the state's weary, the country's weary with undereducated politicians. Undereducated politicians. Really. When you go to any events, and you might want to drop in on a couple of Republican events to do what I'm suggesting. Ask people specific questions. Ask candidates, what would you do about fill in the blank? Now, I'll tell you what I did, and this is really interesting. In our own party, I have to admit, as well as some of the mail that comes by mistake to the people that lived there before I did, who were Republican conservatives, a little right up until the hunt, I do look at the mail, and they ask me for money. And I take 3 questions, one from the economy, one from education, one from energy, and I ask, what would you do about this problem? And when you send me that, I'll think about sending you some money. I hadn't opened my checkbook yet. Ask them questions. See how much they know about these issues and if they're prepared to do something about it. So, be willing to do anything, any big or small thing to get these kind of Democratic candidates elected, because we desperately need them here in South Carolina and in the nation. Our legacy is full of people like that. It is. Joe Riley, Dick Riley, Alex Sanders, Fritz Hollings. Our legacy is full of people like that. But now, right now is our future. You are the bridge from that legacy to our future. You, really, you're the bridge.